The FTC just kind of had their case against Microsoft for the Microsoft Activision Blizzard purchase blown up by none other than the European Union. Not looking good, FTC. Let's dive into this right now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. I love covering this story for you, and a lot of you seem to appreciate it. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Diving right in. So basically, the FTC is suing Microsoft to stop the Activision Blizzard merger. And one of the key tenets of their case is that they believe that they lied to the European Union about what they would do with Game Pass and Bethesda titles going forward. I'm trying to find the exact quote, but I will paraphrase for the time being. Well, the EU has responded to that. They have basically said Microsoft did not deceive the EU. The Commission cleared the Microsoft ZeniMax transaction unconditionally as it concluded that the transaction would not raise competition concerns, the EU watchdog said in an emailed statement to MLEX. So this is via Reset Era. MLEX emailed the European Commission about the FTC acquisition, and they provided a very interesting answer. So this is from the European Commission. Microsoft didn't mislead EU over ZeniMax deal, Watchdog says in response to US concerns. Microsoft didn't make any commitments to EU regulators not to release Xbox exclusive content following its takeover of ZeniMax Media, the European Commission has said. As a matter of fact, Microsoft made a promise to fulfill the agreements for games like Deathloop and I can't remember the name of the other, Ghostwire Tokyo, and both of those went through. Those were exclusive to PlayStation for the time being. They continued to keep Fallout 76 on both PlayStation and Xbox, and Elder Scrolls Online. So they fulfilled those. Not only did they keep their word, but they kept their word and then some. So continuing on, the Commission cleared the Microsoft ZeniMax transaction unconditionally as it concluded that the transaction would not raise competition concerns. The absence of competition concerns did not rely on any statements made by Microsoft about the future distribution strategy concerning ZeniMax games, said the Commission, which itself has opened an in-depth probe into the Activision Blizzard deal and appears keen to clarify what happened in the previous acquisition. The EU agency found that even if Microsoft were to restrict access to ZeniMax titles, it would have a significant impact on competition because rivals wouldn't be denied access to essential input, and other consoles would still have a large array of attractive content. So there you have it. The EU seems totally fine with the merger, and they're kind of calling out the FTC today. The FTC's key argument is about that statement, basically. And if we scroll down here to section, I believe it's like 100 and something, this is the official filing. And if you look at this section in the FTC document, Microsoft's statements and past actions indicate that it will likely act on its incentives to disadvantage rivals by withholding or degrading Activision content. This is one of their core thesis arguments to block the deal. The main tenet of their lawsuit is this point, and we read that on the blog post not that long ago. You can check out that video right here where we went over the original lawsuit. It just blew up their whole argument. So already the argument was flawed and kind of a joke, and now it's DOA. So the fact that they're going to take this to court is just wasting taxpayers' dollars at this point. They could have had a better argument. They don't. And now it's just, it's not looking good for the FTC. Maybe they'll get them next time. They basically say the following. Microsoft's statements and past actions indicate that it will likely act on its incentives to disadvantage rivals by withholding or degrading Activision content. We already went over that. And that's not true. Microsoft stated earlier this year that it's something. Microsoft subsequently has wavered in its representations as to something. We have it blacked out. We don't know what the FTC is hiding there for whatever reason. If they said it publicly, then I don't know why it's not showing. Moreover, Microsoft's past conduct is telling, despite statements by Microsoft to European regulators disavowing the incentive to make ZeniMax content exclusive post-close. That's the part the European, regulators just commented on. They're like, Microsoft didn't say that. They didn't say that they would act in the way that you're describing. Their case is dead. This is factually incorrect in a court document. Microsoft is going to absolutely eviscerate this point. Anyway, after the EC cleared the transaction, Microsoft plans for 3 of the newly acquired titles to become exclusive to Microsoft's Xbox consoles and Xbox Game Pass subscription service, which they said going into the merger, they said, this is about bringing exclusive content to platforms where Game Pass exists. I've had to say the quote so many times, I basically know it by heart. That's what they said as soon as it was announced, and then it was approved after that. So this is all nonsense. For example, although previous titles in ZeniMax Blank franchise, Elder Scrolls franchise will say, were released on PlayStation, Microsoft has confirmed that the upcoming Elder Scrolls, why would they blank it out, will be available only on Xbox consoles, Windows PC, and Xbox Game Pass subscription services. Yeah, that's what they told the European Union. Like, what are you doing, FTC? Like, if you're going to sue Microsoft, you got to bring your A game, and this is not it. There's so many better ways to approach this, and like, this is not a good look. Microsoft has also stated that Starfield and Redfall, 2 of the highly anticipated new games in development at the time of Microsoft's purchase of ZeniMax Media, will also become... How can something become an exclusive? It was never announced for any other platform. There was never any public decree or announcement that Starfield or Redfall would ever come to any other platform. So the fact that, yeah, the company that they bought made games that are going to release on the parent company's platform happened shouldn't be a surprise to the FTC, certainly. It's not a surprise to any of the rest of us. Anyway, will also become Xbox console and Xbox Game Pass exclusives upon release. Yeah, no kidding. They own the company. And they said that's what they are going to do. Anyway, Microsoft's previous representations to the EC, again, EC has come out and said, FTC, you're wrong about its incentives after its purchase of ZeniMax were not born out of Microsoft's own post-merger behavior. Instead, Microsoft put its true post-merger incentives on full display when it decided to deny rivals its newly acquired future releases and thwart consumers who would choose to play them on a competing product. That's not how it works. Like, this is going to get absolutely destroyed. You're telling me the games that are the new games, not existing IPs, not stuff that's already releasing on other platforms, that they own are now coming out on their platform. So when Sony makes Spider-Man, are you going to make it so Sony has to release Spider-Man on Xbox consoles? Like that's the argument that they're making. Or if the next Bungie game decides to be PlayStation exclusive, no, that has to come out on both platforms now. Like, this is disastrous for the FTC, in my opinion. Instead, Microsoft, okay, we read that part. And thwart consumers who would choose to play them on a competing product. Microsoft's past behavior should also cast more suspicion on its non-binding public commitments to keep Call of Duty available on PlayStation consoles through the end of Activision's existing agreement with Sony. Why would it cast suspicion? Valve and Steam have come out and said, we were presented a contract. We don't need to sign it because we trust Microsoft. Nintendo was presented a contract. They signed it. Sony has a contract on the table that Microsoft is more than willing to sign for 10 years of Call of Duty going forward. FTC just got absolutely destroyed by these European Union contracts. And like, here's a screenshot of it. Sorry for the size. It's from, I can't really do much about it. This is the best I can do. Sorry. Microsoft didn't make any commitments to EU regulators not to release Xbox exclusive content following its takeover of ZeniMax Media. The European Commission said. US enforcers yesterday said that the US tech giant had misled the Commission in 2021 and cited that as a reason to challenge its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The EU just called the FTC out. They said, do not take our words as your own. That's not what we said at all. So I don't know what this means going forward for the case. To me, it means that the case is dead. Like, their case is just absolutely destroyed. Let's take a look. So yesterday I was looking for the Bobby Kotick statement. So here's what Activision has to say. I already made the video about what Microsoft has said and the other Activision comments, but this was an important one I missed in yesterday's video. Team, this is from Bobby Kotick. I wanted to provide a brief update on our pending merger with Microsoft. This week, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission announced its decision to challenge the deal. This means they will file a lawsuit to block the merger and arguments will be heard by a judge. This sounds alarming, so I want to reinforce my confidence that this deal will close. Again, Activision wants this deal to close. Yes, Bobby Kotick, but a lot of people have stock in the company who work there. They want this to close because they stand to make a lot of money. They stand to have a better work environment. Developers seem to want this. It's crazy that the FTC is blocking this, in my opinion. The allegation that this deal is anti-competitive doesn't align with the facts, and we believe we'll win this challenge. Thanks to the hard work by all of you every day, we're on a strong path, bringing epic joy to players around the world that with what I believe are the greatest games in the industry. At the same time, the competitive landscape is shifting, and simply put, a combined Microsoft Activision Blizzard will be good for players, good for employees, good for competition, and good for the industry. Our players want choice, and this gives them exactly that. You can read more about the specifics on those points in this update we recently shared with you. We believe these arguments will win despite a regulatory environment focused on ideology and misconceptions about the tech industry. Thank you for your dedication and creativity, Bobby. Activision wants this. The European Union is calling out the FTC for misquoting them, and their whole case was built upon that statement. That is what made them go to court. Somebody is getting reamed right now at the FTC for this very sloppy work that has been done. Wow. If it's going to be like this every day, I can't wait to keep talking about this. Like, very interesting stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. I greatly appreciate you watching. Thank you to the members. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for supporting. I really appreciate that. I post all these videos ad-free for the members. Anything I make on the channel is ad-free. You can click that join button if you want to be part of that. And if you want to see the Activision video from yesterday with a ton of comments from Activision, you see that here. Otherwise, I will see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.